Hello everyone, and welcome to the Alter Table lecture. In this lecture, we're going to discover how we can change existing table structures, even if the table already exists inside of a database. And we can do that using the alter table statement. So the syntax of the alter table statement is as follows. It's alter table, then the name of your table that you want to alter, and then some sort of action statement. And there's quite a few different types of action statements. So PostgreSQL in particular provides add, remove, or rename column actions. You can set default values for columns, add check constraints to a column, or rename the table itself. So some of the keywords we're going to be exploring are add column, drop column, rename column, add constraint, and rename to. So these are all actually best explored through example. So let's go ahead and open up a SQL editor, make a table, and then try altering it as we go along. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the SQL editor now. Okay, so here I am at the SQL editor. Let's go ahead and create a table to work with. So let's go ahead and, you may already have a table called link. If you have it, go ahead and drop the table. So we'll say drop table if exists and link. So if you have it or not, this should work. So I already deleted or dropped the link table, so it says link doesn't exist. If you had it from some of the previous lectures, go ahead and run this statement in order to get rid of it. Because what we're going to do is create a table called link so we can play around with it. So we're going to say create table link, and now let's just add 3 columns to this table. We're going to add an ID column, link ID. That's going to be serial primary key. Going to add another column called title, and that will be a variable character column. Let's go ahead and just go off some byte sizes, so we'll say 512. Variable character size not null. Let's go ahead and have our URL. And again, the sizes don't really matter that much of what we're passing into variable character. And here I'm passing in some column constraints. So I just created a table called link. It has 3 columns, link ID, which is the primary key of this table, and it's a serial data type, meaning it's like an auto increment data type. Then I have the title column. It's a variable character string data type with up to 512 characters in that string, and it has the constraints of being not null, so it cannot be null. And then I have the URL column, and it's also a variable character string. Quite a few more characters are allowed, and it's not null, and they also all have to be unique. So they all have to be unique addresses. So let's go ahead and discover how we can use alter table to play around and mess around with this table. So to add a new column to a table, you use the add column action. So you're going to say alter table, the table name, alter table link, and then you say add column. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and add the column name. So let's go ahead and make a column name called active. And then you add the data type of the column. So I'm going to say that it's a Boolean type column. So if that URL is active or not, true or false. So if I run that, we went ahead and said alter table, the name of the table, link, add column, the active column, and then we made a Boolean data type for that column. So if I go ahead and check this out, let's go ahead and explore it. I'm going to go ahead and say select all from link, and we shouldn't get any rows back, but we should get at least the column names. So if you notice down here, now I have an active Boolean type column. So I was able to alter the table that already exists. So that's awesome. Now let's go ahead and explore how we can drop that column. And that's just going to be alter table, the name of the table, and you say drop column, and then the name of whatever column you want to drop. So let's go ahead and drop the active. So it should return successfully with no results. And if I just go ahead and say select all asterisks from link, run that, notice the active column is no longer there. So if you want to rename columns, we can do that as well. So notice I have that title column there in the middle. We can go ahead and rename it. So we can say something like alter table, link, we can say rename column, and then you use you pass in the column you want to rename. So let's go ahead and rename the title column. You use the keyword to, and then whatever you want to do. So we'll say like new title name, and go ahead and run that. So you say alter table, the name of the table, you say rename column title to the new title name. So if we go ahead and explore this, let's make sure that actually worked by selecting from the link table. And notice now in the middle we have that new title name column. Great. So let's go ahead and explore just a couple more actions. And so one of these other actions we can take is actually going to affect the whole table. So instead of just affecting one column, we can actually rename the entire table. So if I say select all from link, run that, I get that. But let's say we wanted to rename the link table. I can say alter table link and then use the keyword rename to, and this will rename the entire table. So I can name this URL table, URL underscore table, run that. So again, it's alter table, the name of the table, rename to, and then the new table name. And then we can go ahead and say select asterisk from, and if we try to do it from link, you'll notice the link doesn't exist anymore because it's renamed to the URL table. And then we get the actual results. Okay, so that's it for the basics of using alter table. You can think of it as a nice way to alter columns and rename the table itself once a table already exists in your database. All right, thanks everyone, and I will see you at the next lecture.